There we are. Hey guys. Nope, reconnecting already.
Oh.
might be one of those days. So Leah, we are taking a walk with Patriot Gallery, and little Charlie here. Show you this is Charlie in his cute little coat there. So Leah was talking about how Trump is doing a press conference right now
on our cryptocurrency reserve.
Cryptocurrency, like we have one.
We do.
Right, I know.
One now.
I get that.
I don't. And actually, what's funny is that I tried to Google it, see how much was in it, but there's not a lot of information yet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So Patriot Gallery was saying, Mom, did you want to tell him?
Economist magazine has been known by every wealthy person since 1981.
It was cryptocurrencies.
There will be a digital money, and it was written in Economist magazine 1981.
So
every wealthy person knows this.
Every wealthy
the
person.
Economist magazine is something that the elites have always read, especially before the internet.
And they talk to each other
to get a jump on things, and they sound prophetic. They're almost everything that they predict, usually comes true. It's because that they, whether you know it or not, we have a God in this world, and it's this money system. And so, if you're God, then you can tell everybody what's going to happen within reason, right? So I saw somebody post a question, and the question was, will they expand Bitcoin beyond 21 million? And that were created by this ghost of a person. And let me just explain to you guys. One person, I know that it's a legend. Do you guys know what a legend is? And then
urban myth.
It's like, and the dragon came.
Bring up the Patriot movie.
And he breathed
they
fire.
They called him a legend. He was a ghost. He came out of nowhere. So everybody's watched the Patriot movie.
So this supposedly Japanese guy, he's probably not Japanese. He's probably British. I was listening to John McAfee kind of break it down. And he's like, in the white paper that came out, every spelling that could be, British English or, American English, it's all British English, double space. And John McAfee, before he died, seemed to know who was kind of behind Bitcoin. But guys, to come up with this blockchain theory is not a one-person thing. To think that it's a system-wide thing, and it's the CIA to get us all to move over to these digital currencies. And we were promised that it would just be a means of trade. Just you and me trading back and forth to get the government out. And you know what John McAfee said? It was absolutely hilarious. He said, when it comes to these new modern inventions, who gets a hold of them first? Always the criminals. Always the bad guys. The bad guys, he said, had the V8 engines to outrun the cops with the V6. The bad guys want the money laundering capabilities of Bitcoin. Okay? Because nobody, if the plumber comes to your house and you write him a check, then the police can get, bank records and go back and check all the checks and check the banks and all these things. But with Bitcoin, it's designed to circumvent the system, but not really, because you all get involved in it. You think you're circumventing the system, and then the system has you. So the question was raised, I saw today, the one thing about the Bitcoin people is they're so sold on the fact that there will never be more, that they can't dilute it, because I guess there's 20,000 nodes, and they'd all have to agree to be making more Bitcoin. But I saw Captain Austin Fitz say, oh yeah, sure they can't. Mm-hmm. Sure they can't. And so I just find it hilarious to watch the Bitcoiners saying that their currency cannot be diluted.
Well, and that's a really important point here to make, because for those of you that don't know, a real currency can't be diluted.
Right.
Currency can only be diluted if it has something that represents it,
right,
like the paper dollar.
You mine more gold, you mine more silver.
What happened when the Federal Reserve Bank came into being, the dollar started to be decoupled from real money.
Yeah.
Then Nixon literally took us off of the gold standard. Mm-hmm. So all these Bitcoin people are like, you don't understand. It's absolutely impossible to dilute Bitcoin. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, it was impossible to dilute gold.
Yes.
And you already have Bitcoin tied to the dollar. And so it's not, they definitely can and will be diluting your Bitcoin.
So this is the idiotic statement. Ready? there's only one Bitcoin on the blockchain, right? But then all of these other cryptocurrencies have been made up as well.
Exactly.
And they're other currencies, and they have no limits. We see, especially like with these meme coins, the value of these coins, like
it's thin air. It's thin air.
With Melee, we're all just going to buy in. Those who are there at the beginning, they pull out, and basically it's a way to siphon money from other people. And so let's pretend for one precious moment.
Say that again.
It's a way to siphon money from other people.
Money.
You buy their memes.
You buy their coins.
They take your
money.
Right.
Why do you think Bitcoiners all tell you, whatever you do, don't sell it? Because
then they would lose.
They would lose money. Okay? Bitcoin is only as valuable. I don't care if you sell your gold and silver. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Okay? And it's like you need the collective, right, to make you money. And so when these Bitcoiners are coming at me, telling me to buy Bitcoin, and Donald Trump is saying we're going to have a Bitcoin reserve, well, what other ETFs are we going to have? These are fake currencies, and they have no limit, Michelle. We don't know who's behind all these Ethereum and all these other crazy things that are riding on the back of the so-called Bitcoin of the blockchain, and nobody can get to it.
Yep.
They told the American people that their money was safe with the bankers.
Right.
And they could have all the gold.
Right.
And then they started printing more dollars than they had gold in reserve.
Right. Exactly.
And so they take your dollar bills that you give them, and then they start making more.
Right.
And you're just being conned all over. It's the same exact con they did in 1933.
Sorry if the audio's bad. I'm really trying to block the wind, so I might be covering up the speaker.
And any money that fluctuates,
It's coming from behind me.
goes up and down, is a commodity,
Yeah.
like grain or corn or wheat. It is no longer money,
Right.
because you read the Bible. The money has always been based on a silver dime, and then takes 10 silver dimes to make a dollar, a silver dollar, and then it takes 10 silver dollars to make a $10 gold piece.
Right.
That will be the same throughout history. That's real money. That's the truth. Anything outside of that is a lie. And as the saints, we can only tell the truth.
Yeah.
We can't lie.
Right.
So what if the idea, and this I'm throwing out some theories, what if the idea is to get a hold of what does have a little bit more value, which is Bitcoin, so that you can ride in all these other things that can fluctuate? You know what I mean? Or not a little bit more value, but actually has the limit of the 21 million. There, Trump came out with a meme coin, and Trump's whole family came out ahead, making millions of dollars, and now it's not worth anything. Melania came out with quote unquote a meme coin. I think little Barron there, if he's behind any of this, he's got his little dad on his shoulder. Like, who can we con today?
Sorry about the wind, guys.
Okay, who can we get to buy into our property?
It's just like Rockefeller's dad was a snake oil salesman,
Yeah.
and that's your COVID shots. It's all snake oil
Right.
or snake venom. And so Rockefeller just came like his dad, carried on his dad's work, so Barron's going to carry on his dad's work.
But with something that doesn't have value, at least real estate has value, right? Remember Donald Trump had like steaks, he had wine, Ivanka had like a whole clothing line and pillows that had to go bankrupt because nobody was buying it. It's a very strange universe that we're in. So do I think that they will dilute the 21 million? Absolutely they will. They already have. It's not a question of if. As soon as they came up with a second cryptocurrency, they diluted Bitcoin. As soon as they came up with a third and a fourth and all these quote unquote meme coins, and everybody's trying to jump on them. Why are you trying to jump on them? Because you're trying to take money from somebody else. Michelle, what does it mean to rise in value? You know what I mean? And then
So this is a really good point that Leah's trying to make.
you're literally trying to steal from other people.
So when gold and silver, when the price rises, it's just because the dollar is diluted, but gold has its own intrinsic value.
Right.
That has been able to be marked as solid from the beginning of time.
Right.
Like the same value, okay? an ounce of gold has pretty much for all of history bought the same amount of things until the fiat dollar.
Wouldn't that like to say a $20 gold piece can buy a man's nice suit?
Yeah. Okay. So when we're talking about stocks,
Yeah.
it's the same exact thing as with these cryptocurrencies.
But actually, I think it's a little worse because like at least like with like the Melee meme coin, the value is just going up by how much money people are paying to buy the thing.
Right.
Okay. Whereas a company might be more valuable because of what it's producing more.
Think of insurance, right?
Yeah.
So an insurance company, maybe they invest what's deposited, but most of the time their profit just comes from the fact that some of y'all just die early, and the money that you put in
Right, exactly.
doesn't go back to you.
Right.
Okay? And it's the same thing with these meme coins and these bitcoins.
Yeah.
The value is not just based on people buying them.
Right.
The value is going up out of thin air. Let's get out of the wind. The value is going up out of thin air. Okay? And just like a stock, when you look at the stock market crash, go ahead and tell them about the stock market crash and how everybody took everybody else's money.
Yeah, so the
frog in my
banks
throat.
were already playing with people's money before it crashed in 29. But when the stock market crashed, it was basically just a
transfer of wealth.
So that like people like JFK's dad got super rich on other people's money.
So when these meme coins and these bitcoins rise and fall, someone is getting rich and someone is losing. So you're banking on getting wealthy based on someone else losing.
It's such gambling because it's basically everybody puts $10 in a pot, and whoever gets out quickly enough,
it's a game.
You're taking their money
and that's
from
not,
them.
But that's not money. That's gambling.
And it's also stealing. It's stealing. You're trying, when it comes to these EFTs and these cryptocurrencies, the idea is to hype them up, to get a bunch of people to buy them so you can take their money that they're investing. It is
You can go on the porch.
It's thievery.
I want you guys to understand something. The Bible is very clear about when you make money, or when you all right, let's break this down in terms that everybody should already understand, and if you don't know it, then you don't know it. But I'm going to tell it to you. When I plant something, and Patriot Gallery just put out a John Locke thing and talks about how value gets added when you put labor to it.
Yeah.
Value to land gets added when you put labor to it.
Yeah.
Making money out of thin air does not exist.
Right.
When I grow something, or I make something, or I produce something, I have done a thing that has value, and then I get money in exchange for, we've got plenty of things up here that have value out on the porch. This is dried peppers, okay, that we grew. And then, of course, we've got, I made the Healing for the Soul oil. And we've got, our products like Leah's deodorant. Like, I have made something. This has value.
Because you put your labor to it.
But because you may not have something that I need, then we need a medium of exchange. But the actual value is in the thing. And so when you are trying to make money out of thin air,
have the actual value.
you are trying to be a lazy fraudster.
Yeah.
Okay? You're trying to get money for something that you didn't do.
Didn't put any labor to.
You didn't put any labor to. And don't tell me that your little watching the ticker tape and watching the things is your labor. That's not labor. Making an item, growing a food, raising an animal, building a house, having a trade, that is actual value. And then we need a medium of exchange for the value. So when you have these bitcoins, when you have these cryptocurrencies, it is a lie and it is satanic and it is witchcraft, because it's all of these people that want to, quote unquote, amass a thing that has value when they don't have anything on the other side to equal it.
They haven't worked for it.
They haven't worked for it.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what makes these cryptocurrencies so evil.
What makes it even worse is that you're trying to pull other people in with you so that you can take their money.
It's really the king's new clothes, right? Yeah. That's what it boils down to. Like, we all have to agree that we're going to say that the naked king has clothes.
Right.
And Leah and I aren't going along with it. We're not going to agree that the Naked King has clothes.
Because it's not, if you were to tell me that the United States was going to have a cryptocurrency exchange because the United States didn't want to track your money, the United States didn't want you to pay taxes on things. Mm-hmm. The United States was like, yes, we have this, we know that banks are crooked, and we want you to be able to send money untracked overseas, right? Yes. That if that's what Donald Trump was really saying, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying that at all. The idea of a cryptocurrency reserve is to make it like an investing deal, and so people have these wallets where they're quote unquote investing in a money, and it's not. It's literally, it's so weird to me. It's a foreign concept. If you're investing in P&G, if you have stocks in a company, what you're doing is you're saying, take some of my money and expand your company so you can make more product. But the funny thing is that they don't even need your money on the stock market. Okay, so the stock market is a big scam too, because the stock market used to be a place where you can invest in a company because they needed your money to help expand their companies. But now the banks will just give any company what they need. They don't need you to buy into their stocks. Okay, so what happens with stock markets is you've gotten so used to the the fake rise and fall of a company's valuation that the company isn't really paying you dividends on how well it's doing anymore. It's like Catherine Austin Fitts talks about it, Lynette talks about these, are they elephants? She talks about these companies that get these giant valuations, and they like Uber. Uber's doesn't make anything. Uber, but it has a high valuation, and a lot of these new tech companies.
You mean Uber doesn't? Oh, you mean it does though. It produces rides for people, or like Uber Eats,
but but it doesn't actually produce something. The people themselves are doing work, but it doesn't make anything.
Right.
So, but it has these high valuations, right? And a lot of these new tech upstarts have these high valuations of like $1 billion. They haven't done anything yet. They have a valuation, but nothing to back it up.
Right.
Okay. And so I forget what she calls them, right? I don't know if they're rhinos or something. They're just like they're make believe, right? And they rise and they fall and they crash, and it's kind of like with the Sam Bankman-Fried and
FTX
and FTX, and how he created something out of nothing, and it was like pulling money.
And he took all of that money from the people.
He was taking money. His friends were taking money, and he was pretending like he wasn't poor.
Right.
So, anyways, I just wanted to come on here, pop up here, and talk about the cryptocurrency and the strategic reserve. And I would just say that if God was going to judge us on abortion, which He is and He will, God is also judging us on false weights and balances.
So
this is not a good thing.
This is the thing that I would my takeaway from Leah wanting to do this video is this. Economic collapse is happening right now. And if you got Trump coming out talking about having a cryptocurrency, or specifically, is it specifically Bitcoin strategic reserve?
No,
or crypto?
It's
crypto.
There's I think 3 or 4, but I'm not sure which one we have started yet.
Okay, well, the idea that's in place shows you that Trump is trying to mitigate the collapse, or mitigate the effects of the collapse as best as he possibly can. So he's not telling you that he's doing this because we are headed into economic collapse, but tell me how we're headed into economic collapse without telling me we're headed into economic collapse. And that's what you're seeing right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so this is not because Trump wants to transition us to something new and better. This is like Trump is trying to soften the blow, and he has no idea really how to do it. So he's grasping at straws.
So I guess the Bitcoin in reserve will come from assets held by the U.S. Department of Treasury that were seized in court proceedings or paid in civil penalties to executive agencies. David Sachs, the White House czar for cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence, posted on Twitter that the U.S. has roughly 200,000 Bitcoin, and there has never been a complete audit. He added that the order requires a full accounting of the federal government's digital asset holdings. Sachs called for the reserve a digital Fort Knox for cryptocurrency. The executive order describes Bitcoin as digital gold. The digital asset stockpile also will come from assets seized in court proceedings. The executive order directs the Treasury and Commerce Secretaries to work on strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin that are budget neutral and do not impose incremental costs on the U.S. taxpayers. Trump signed an executive order in January creating the president's working group on digital asset markets and charged it with investigating the creation of the stockpile. In a pair of social media posts last Sunday, he mentioned 5 different cryptocurrencies that would be included in the stockpile.
Okay, so they want to switch us all over to a digital wallet, meaning your cash money will not exist, your bank account will not exist, your even credit cards will not exist. Okay, you won't have a checkbook anymore. They just want us all to have a digital wallet based on crypto currencies. Okay, I am so against this, it's not even funny. But this is a step in that direction. And one of the things that Lynette predicts, and I agree with this, is that they are, with this stockpile, what I believe that they're going to do, and this is just a prediction, you can, hang your hat on it or not. Don't hang your hat on it. They want to be able to give everybody a UBI, Universal Basic Income, meaning every month, every American gets a stipend from the government. They've been trying to introduce this for a very long time, so that people can buy food and different things like that. What I've been predicting for years, and what Lynette has been predicting for years, is that the universal basic income that they will implement will come in the form of a digital wallet. And that's how they will convince you to dip your toe in the water. So you will get the digital wallet, and then you'll be able to use that to buy regular tangible goods and things, not from ResistanceChicks shop, because we're never going to accept that. And then slowly, as people get used to it, then they will try to transition. Now, the only caveat that I have to my own prediction on that is I don't think that they can implement it fast enough. What will probably happen is the crash is going to just happen, and then it will become very fast, and they'll just have to just all of a sudden hand it out. And I think that that may be one of the reasons why they want to have this in this stockpile. And I don't think it's for anything other than establishing a governmental, essentially central bank digital currency.
So Trump launched his 2 cryptocurrency tokens called Trump and Melania shortly before taking office in January, attracting billions of speculative dollars and sparking new ethics concerns. Trump-affiliated companies owned 80% of all stock and stand to benefit from the price when the price rises. It generated $100 million in trading fees, just in trading fees, in the first 2 weeks. Now, Trump and his affiliates also hold a 60% stake in the World Liberty Financial. It's a cryptocurrency platform where you can exchange. So it's not just about like, I want to get you into cryptocurrency, and then here come to my platform so that you could, your every transaction that you do goes through me. And so it definitely, you've got, Trump no longer owns a showcase property in Washington. It looks like he's trying to ease out of properties, and now it says Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida has become a popular spot for Republican Party fundraisers and other conservative events, which put money in his pockets. The property stood to generate $24 million in cash last year. So I know that General Flynn and Ivan Ranklin just held a gala there, and it's like, I guess it's $300,000 an event to hold it. And so you've got, there's a lot of ways that the Trump family are making money off of Trump, and it's way more than Joe Biden and Hunter Biden ever could dream of. And it boggles my mind that we're okay with it on one side but not okay with it on the other side.
Is that your final thought on the cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, that's my final thought.
Okay, that's it. There you go. There's your show for today. Bye, guys.